Hello, darkness. The romance is not alive. Where do I put my hands? It's like... Today, I'm gonna give you a little update on how life is going and how my pregnancy is so far. Plus, I'll be answering your questions that you guys submitted on Instagram. Now, in case you're not aware, I am pregnant with my second baby and currently I am 33 weeks. Not long to go. And I'm pregnant with a boy, which I'm low-key kind of scared of because I've seen boy energy and it looks tiring to be a boy mum. Let's dive into some questions. I've got a list here. What are the main differences between your first and second pregnancy? I feel like my first pregnancy, I had a lot more time to myself because I was obviously kid-free, so I could like rest when I wanted, snack when I wanted, do whatever I wanted basically. But with pregnancy number 2, I have no time because now I'm taking care of a toddler. So I don't really have that much time to like snack and like eat all my pregnancy cravings. Actually have just no me time basically. So I feel like one of the main differences is that the first pregnancy I gained weight a lot faster because all I was thinking about was food. And then with my second, I feel like I'm a lot more active, just running around and chasing a toddler. My belly and body also looks different. They say like every pregnancy is going to be different, and it's true. The first one I swelled up a lot more and was like, I looked pregnant, like even in the face and arms. But this time around, I feel like it's just all in the belly. Like mentally, I feel like this time around, I am so much more chill. The first pregnancy, I was like, okay, baby is the size of a lettuce. It's growing some liver, eyes, and like I would know exactly what is happening with my baby. Second time around, I have to like double check the app to remember what week I'm on because the days go so quick. I'm just a lot more cool, calm, and collected this time around. Overall, I say that second pregnancy has been a lot easier, though. Recently, I've been getting this thing called lightning crotch. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's like this jolt in your crotch because baby's head is down. There's a lot of pressure. I don't really remember experiencing that much of lightning crotch like with the first, but this time I just feel like it's really bad. Like randomly, I'll just get this jolt and I'm like, and like walking, I feel a little bit more pressure down there. How's life in Vietnam? Do you have any plans on moving back to Singapore or Australia? Guys, life in Vietnam is great. I feel like I've been the chillest I've ever been in a long time. The pace here is just a lot more relaxed, I feel. I think because my overheads and expenses are a lot lower compared to Singapore and Australia. Back then, I would have to stress a lot, especially about finances and then just like work in general. This time around, I'm just chill because I'm not spending as much and I'm just living life on my own terms. I really like it here. I think I'll be staying here for at least like another like 2 to 3, 4 years, and then after that I'll reevaluate because then like the kids might have to go to school. Kind of also thinking about homeschooling, but like that's not set in stone just yet. But yeah, I think maybe we'll move back to either Singapore or Australia eventually. Where will you give birth? I'm gonna give birth in Vietnam. At first, it sounds a little bit daunting and scary because it's a whole different healthcare system here, but they have really good international hospitals. I plan to give birth at an American international hospital here. It's pretty good, like the system, honestly. I can't really fault it, and the doctors are amazing. So I feel like I'm in good hands. If you want to know more about the birth process, I think I'm going to do it like a separate video on like preparing for birth and all that, so stay tuned for that. Are you going to do a water birth again? I would have loved to do another water birth again, but unfortunately in Vietnam there is no such thing, or at least giving birth in the water at a hospital. They don't have that available. So yeah, looks like baby number 2 is going to be a land baby. Will you be vlogging your delivery? Yes, I'm going to try to vlog the whole thing for you guys, just so that a lot of you guys can see like what birth is like. Well, you know, every birth is different, but like for me, my goal is to do a natural birth, no epidural, and kind of just have an empowering birth because I think that's important. But each to their own, no judgment. If you want to do C-section, if you want to do epidural, whatever, you like choose your own birth. But yeah, I just want to share my experience to just, you know, just to share. In case you missed the first birth video, it is up on my YouTube. I did film everything. It was very raw, very real. I was probably yelling like a cave woman. Every time I watch it, I have to like put the volume down. Yeah, it's real and raw. So if you guys want to check it out, click on that video after this. Are you going to be doing more try-on hauls? Yes, but my body currently, it's just changing a lot, and I figured like last time I did more pregnancy, maternity hauls, and I still have like the clothes from that time, so I didn't want to like do too many fashion hauls with my body now, because that's going to change real soon and it's gonna keep changing for a while. But I will do more try-on hauls probably after I give birth. How's your mum? Mum is doing great. She's recovering well. In case you didn't know, she was diagnosed with stage 3 uterine cancer. So she had the operation to remove her womb and everything because she's like menopausal. She doesn't actually need those bits. But unfortunately, the cancer had spread to her lymph nodes. So there were like scattered cancer cells. So she had to do chemo and radiation. And she's finished chemo. She did lose all her hair, but it's growing back. And she's finishing off another treatment called immunotherapy. Once she's done with everything, she's gonna be here with me in Vietnam to take care of baby number 2. Overall, her health and her mental spirit is going really well. Does pregnancy darken your underarms, thighs, or any other areas? Why didn't I just show you my underarms to answer this question? Like, hello darkness. Yeah, it definitely darkened my underarm, and it happened last time too. Groin area, I've got that line down my stomach. Pregnancy does make you more pigmented in a lot of parts of your body, but it does start to fade afterwards. It's just like a hormonal thing, and I plan on like doing some lasers or something after to whiten my underarms, because I'm really conscious about that area. Like naturally I already had like a little bit of pigmentation there, but pregnancy just amplified it. How do you plan on juggling a newborn, a toddler, and creating content? How am I gonna do that? Well, good question. How am I gonna do that? I think luckily Alfred and I, we work together and we work from home. So our job is flexible, and we hired a nanny when Lila was about 9 months. During that time, Mum had to also go back to Australia, so she wasn't helping me as much. So I hired a nanny in Singapore, and she came with us to Vietnam. That has been a great help. Honestly, I'm just gonna get help wherever I can, and I'm not gonna be like ashamed or feel guilty about it. For my first baby, I thought I could just do everything myself, and honestly, I was just burnt out, tired, depressed, had anxiety, just moody, was not feeling it. So this time around, I'm just gonna try to outsource things like cleaning, cooking, and then just spend time with baby and Lila. I think I'm most concerned about how I'm going to sort of balance the love for both of them. In regards to creating content, now I batch film my videos. So every couple of months, Zen will fly over. We will film like 10 videos or something, or in like 2 weeks, and then Zen will edit it, and then we'll upload like all the content slowly. So working this way is a lot easier for me, because I can just allocate 2 or 3 weeks for work, and then the rest of like the time I'm just focused on being a mum. Any tips for losing pregnancy weight? I would say breastfeed, guys. Breastfeed for as long as you can, because it's basically free liposuction. For Lila, I think I breastfed for about 16 months. After a year, we did introduce formula, so it wasn't like latched full time. I feel like that really helped, because she basically sucked all that fat out of me. I didn't really exercise that much. I think maybe like once a week we'd go do like a reformer class or something active, but honestly, breastfeeding is the way to go if you can. How did you know Alfred was the one? Oh man. How did I know Alfred was the one? I feel like with Alfred, it was very different to anyone that I had ever dated, or to my ex-husband. Yes, I was married before once upon a time. Thought that guy was the one and I was wrong. But with Alfred, I don't know, like when we got together, it just felt easy and I could just be myself. There were no games, and I think we both just wore our heart on our sleeves and basically went all in on the relationship. I'm trying to think of like a one-word, like one-liner answer, but it's so hard because I feel like there's a lot of elements that come together. How easy it is when you're with them, like your dynamics, living together, traveling together. I think you need to experience all that to see and sort of judge for yourself if you could see this person being your life partner. But I will say that a relationship and a marriage takes a lot of work. A lot of people just think that, cool, I'll get engaged, get married, and then I'll live happily ever after. No, that's not how it happens. I feel like after you get married, and especially after you have a kid, you gotta like re-fall in love and re-find your romance and re-find a new sort of routine for you guys and try to make it work. Because I feel like a lot of relationships just fizzle out because not a lot of work is done. So no matter what relationship you get in, it takes work. How do you keep the romance alive after having a baby? The romance is not alive. In short, the romance is not alive. We co-sleep with Lila and she sleeps right in the middle. We're not even allowed to like hug and kiss or like cuddle each other because Lila gets very, very jealous. She's like, no, my daddy, no, my mommy. So yeah, we've got a little bit of like a barrier between us. But honestly, I think we're just like at a different era in our life. It's not all about romance and dates and stuff. Like now we're raising this amazing little human being together and then obviously growing another one. It just strengthens your relationship in another form. At the end of the day, if we do go out for like a coffee together or if we go out for dinner, we're always talking about how amazing our little Lila is and what she did today and like things that we did together. And just as a family, our love has grown bigger, but our romance and sex life has fizzled out dramatically. I can't sugarcoat that. There was one question, are you ever scared of Lila walking in on you? No, because it just doesn't happen. Even if we hold hands, Lila's like, no, no, no. Do you have any tips for anyone who wants kids but is terrified about giving birth? I would say, honestly, giving birth and being pregnant is the easiest part about having a kid. I think a lot of people, or a lot of women especially, focus too much on the birth itself, even though it is like a huge milestone. You're meeting your baby for the first time. You've been growing this little human for 9 months. But I think a lot of people overlook the postpartum period and like the first few months especially. Myself, I was underprepared like drastically. I underestimated it because I probably just referred to Hollywood movies where mums just popped a baby out and still like worked and had a career and had this amazing relationship with their husbands. But in fact, it's very, very hard. If you're scared of the birth itself, there's, you know, things like an epidural that can ease the pain, and you could opt for gas or other like pain relieving alternatives. So your birth doesn't have to be painful. And for me, I think it's like such a mental game. I didn't have an epidural for my first, and yes, it was like intense, but it's a mental game. It's like, you know, when you go to the gym, you're lifting those weights and it's like, it's hard, right? But after that challenge, like comes your little baby and then comes more challenges. So if anything, like I would say don't stress too much about the birth itself, but instead focus on motherhood and preparing for motherhood, because that's like a lifetime commitment. Also your finances, like get your finances in order. I feel like a lot of people save for like a big wedding, but they don't save for having a child necessarily, because after you have a kid, you're gonna need help. And if your parents can't help you, maybe you need some money to get a babysitter, to like get a cleaner to help and like, you know, kind of get your life in order and experience motherhood the way that you want to. Oh, okay, this is gonna turn into a podcast literally. We need a kitchen podcast. What's the plans for Lila's schooling? Like I mentioned before, I'm considering homeschooling Lila and baby number 2. It's a lot of work and a lot of commitment. It's not set in stone just yet, but we haven't really looked into schooling just because Lila's been doing really well at home. Like she's just over 2.5. She can read, guys. Like she can actually read. I'm not even just making this up, but she can read her books. She knows her words. She can read like first grade sight words. It's like really incredible. And I think if I was to put her in the system, it might slow her down. She might get bored. For now, I want to just keep her at home for as long as I can. But like we go out to playgroups and like have a mummy community and friends. So she does have her social playtime. But in terms of proper schooling, I'm not gonna like put her into preschool or anything just yet. I don't feel the need to. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind with baby number 2 and I'll just put them both in school so I can have some me time. Is this gonna be your last baby or are you gonna have number 3? I think think this will be my last. I've got a girl and then the boy, and I think the factory is going to be closed after. Just because, man, like it takes a lot of time, and I feel like you have to allocate at least like 3 to 5 years, spend enough time with your baby. And so I feel like I just can't wait to enjoy my life when my kids get older. I don't want to be back in the trenches again. I can't picture it. So I think 2 is good for me. I've done my job in the world. I've replaced Alfred and I've done the population justice. So shop's closed. Now, if you want to know more about pregnancy, birth, and postpartum, I will be filming more content. So give me some ideas on like what you want to know, what you want to be seeing. I will do the birth vlog and like the actual birth itself. But if you guys want to know like the postpartum period, the first few days with newborns, give me suggestions on topics and ideas. That's it for me, guys. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and this mama will speak to you next time. Bye.